I'm going to show you how to make the story map for your landform story map activity. So I'm assuming you already made the web map with all the layers on it. That's shown in a different video. And now you're ready to get into the story mapping component. So what we want to do is log into ArcGIS. We're in the landing page here. And we want to go up to the app launcher. In here, we can go to story maps. We want to create a new story. Get an appropriate title, so Canada's landforms. Whatever it might be. Now, let's add an image of Canada's beautiful landscapes. So I'm going to do a Google search for Banff National Park. I'm going to click on the actual image so that it's going to appear on the right-hand side here. And then I'm just going to simply go copy image address. And it'll be a little bit different if you're using a Chromebook. I'll go back and explain that in a minute. Click on add image and then put it down here in the file name part. And now you've got the image coming up as the backdrop. So now we want to start telling our story. Our first landform region is, let's say, the Canadian Shield. So that's a heading. So we'll go Canadian Shield. And then we want to describe where it's located. So that's a subheading. So location. And let's give them a map. So when we click on the little plus button, now we want to go down here and you'll see map. I need to find an existing map. So if you've already created your map, you're going to find it in here. If you're away, then you're going to have to borrow my map, which is found in the organization. If you simply search for Eden, and then somewhere in here, there should be, well, maybe not Eden. Let's go landforms. Let's see if, nope. There we are, landform. Find one that's complete, but hopefully you've created your own. So I'm going to click on my map, and hopefully you've filtered the layer so that your landform is going to appear. So you'll notice over on the side here, we've got the little eyes, and if it's got a slash through it, it's not displaying it. So right now it's showing all of the landforms in Canada. I want to turn that off. I want to keep the national parks on. I'm not sure why it's not appearing. I'm just going to try and trick it. Nope, it's not going to work. And now I'm going to turn on the Canadian Shield. Now the Canadian Shield is pretty big. It's going to be hard to fit into my entire screen, but I want it front and center and zoomed in. Place my map, and it takes a few moments for it to build. There it is. I can change this title to the Canadian Shield location. Then I can put in another subheading, and perhaps this time I'll put in appearance. Oh, back here, I can put my paragraph, and so that's where you would describe the location. Now, for some of you, you did an entire paragraph that included appearance and changes over time and so on. But if you've separated it, you could just put the location description in there. So appearance. Now, if you've got a paragraph describing what it looks like, you would go paragraph and describe what it looks like. But then we want to include an image of a national park that's found in your area. Now you can always do a Google search for national parks, Canada, map, Canadian geographic. And this is a great one. because the names of each one of the parks are really easy to see. So, for instance, if it's a Canadian Shield, I do a search for Puk Ashwa. I can't pronounce it. There it is. Find a great image of it. I'm just going to be really quick here. Find a nice image, hopefully with not too many people in it. I want to see the landform, so there we go. I like that. Now, if I'm using a Chromebook, I would save the image as, and then when I go to pull it up, it'll be the only image that's been saved. But it's usually easier to go copy image address and then simply for image paste it into here. If it doesn't appear, it's probably copyright protected. Don't forget to give the name of the actual park. I should capitalize this, but for the sake of speed, I'm not going to capitalize it. I'm just going to paste it in here with just small letters. Now, I could do this a different way. Instead of doing it this way, I could have done it using what's called a sidecar. So if I hit the plus and then go down to sidecar, I could have gone, for instance, my subheading is location, and in this case, add my map with the Canadian Shield on it. And then I could put my description here. But then I'm going to click on this little plus down here, and I'm going to add another sidecar. So this one is going to be my appearance. And in this case, I can now add my image of that national park. And there it is there. So two ways of doing the exact same thing. If I want to continue on with a different landform region, I keep scrolling down, and then down here, I put in my separator. And now I'm going to put in my next landform region. And I can either use a sidecar or I continue doing, oops, I want subheading, and so on. Remember, when you're finished, your entire project, don't publish prior to your completion. You'll publish it to our organization. What I would suggest is play around with the design a little bit. You might want to switch it over to a different color. You might want to try the obsidian or maybe the ridge line, whatever you think works for you. And you can always click on preview, and this is the way it's going to look to your teachers. So it starts off with the introduction, and there's that sidecar. And you'll notice now it has a nice slick appearance as you go through it.